All right, let's bring our guy in, Brain Baldinger. Baldy, who knows the NFL like no one else. Baldy, we were just talking about Russell Wilson and just kind of the bounce back year he's having. Do you think he's back to Seattle Russell Wilson now?
Well, that touchdown throw to Cortland Sutton certainly looked like it. It looked like he was throwing one to Tyler Lockett on a Monday night or Thursday night under the hot lights of national TV. That's about as Russell Wilson like as you can get. I think he's every bit as back. I mean, he's not making mistakes right now. Sean Payton's calling a good game, kind of, emphasizing the run and balancing things up a great deal. But just as the street ball stuff that he had to do on third downs and just getting the ball out of his hands and finding, a safety net on some of those plays to get first downs or get positive yards. He's doing a good job with it, and so I would say he's back certainly circa 2020, 2019.
There we go. You'll love to hear that.
Back, baby.
The other part of our conversation, I'm curious your thoughts. What are the odds, like percentage-wise, that he is one of the, not just like makes the Pro Bowl, but is one of like the 3 AFC quarterbacks who gets voted in initially the Pro Bowl? And this is kind of like a tougher one. MVP, percentage-wise on MVP Russell Wilson for this season.
Well, this thing, that whole contest changes week to week. I mean, last week at this time, you might have said Lamar's the MVP, and you wouldn't have been wrong. And then he has the game that he had against Cleveland. He didn't look like the MVP. The typical players at that position, whether it's Mahomes or Josh or even Herbert or Lamar, I mean, you might think Tua, Stroud, Russell. Like, they might be the 3 Pro Bowl quarterbacks where they're at right now. I mean, if you just look at the numbers and you just look at them, as far as QBR and touchdowns, interceptions, winnings right now, the way, Denver's turning things around, you might say Tua, Stroud, Russell are 3, AFC Pro Bowl quarterbacks.
A couple weeks ago, we talked about this Denver Broncos team, and you mentioned that they were a shark with no teeth, or something that you wouldn't be afraid to swim with. After beating the Chiefs and beating the Bills, what kind of shark are we now? Did we grow some teeth? Are we looking like we could really bite?
Yeah, I don't think you're a great white shark. Necessarily like a black tip shark. Like I don't think any of those. But I think you're like in the lemon shark, bull shark territory. Like there's fear in the water. You might not like swim a mile to get out of the water to get away from it. But your heart is beating a whole lot faster. I think last time we talked, it was like a nurse shark. Like you go up there and pet those. But like I think there's lemon sharks circling in the water. Whether it's Baron Browning or Zach Allen. I mean, you just pick a guy that looks like they're Jared Cooper. They look like they've got a lot more teeth right now.
Man, Baldy, I trust your opinion on sharks, everything in the water, and I also trust your opinion more than anyone on offensive line play. And Quinn Meinerz seems to be really taking that next step in his game. Is he establishing himself, speaking of Pro Bowls, as a Pro Bowl level type of guard?
Well, if you just watch the way he threw guys around the other night, he like nobody gets that attention until you start winning games. Unfortunately, that's why I try to bring some attention to him this week. But, they ran a quarterback sneak behind him, and he lifted, the nose tackle of the Buffalo Bills, just took him right off the curb and took him back 4 yards. The nose tackle was so frustrated he threw his helmet off. But Quinn is he's a powerful, powerful guy. And you're starting to see the backs right now, Javonte, like they're coming, when they start, no matter where every run starts, if those runs start coming behind you, they know who's moving the line of scrimmage. And Quinn is playing really good football right now. He's a powerful guy. He's using his strength well, and he probably deserves more attention. I can't wait to watch him, this week against Minnesota, because they got some good interior defensive linemen there in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, going back and watching games, I think Quinn might be the top of the list of guys that you want to see. I mean, he had pancakes on both of the first 2 drives. Like it's just every series he's doing something that kind of blows your mind. On top of that, he hasn't given up a sack yet this season. And that was kind of the weak part of his game, only played in a 3-point stance in college. Now all of a sudden he's not giving up sacks either. It's pretty ridiculous to see.
Yeah, no, it's development, and he's basically Thor in a football uniform,
Yes.
and so like he's just like he has Neanderthal ways. It's a perfect game for people that are built like that and are created like that. It's if this was the Roman Colosseum, like you just put him out there against the Lions, like I'd take my chances with Quinn. So no, but he's playing good football. Like they brought in Ben on the other side, and Cushenberry's been quasi up and down. McGlinchey's had his penalties, but I think Quinn's been the most solid player they've had up there all year. And now that they're starting to win games, and you see that the way that they're winning games, he should only get more and more attention.
We talked about the offense. I want to break it over to the defensive side of the ball. And this defense is really playing lights out. They've got 4 turnovers in the past 2 games. We've talked a little bit on this show. Is that something we can sustain? And if we don't, how does our team look not being able to have 4 turnovers? Because I don't know if the offense is there enough to really account for, not getting the ball back.
Well, I mean, Jaquan takes the ball right out of James Cook's on the first play, just rips it right out of his hands. I mean, he's been an unbelievable player. Fabian Moreau has been unbelievable since he's been inserted. They're inserting these, new guys or young guys, and they seem to have a knack for it. So, and then if you, anytime that you're pressuring the quarterback, I don't care who it is, you have a chance of getting takeaways. And so I think I've got 10 in this 3-game win streak. Maybe it's the last 4 games going back to the first Kansas City game. But regardless, like they're taking it away. And they're giving extra bats to the offense right now and giving them field position. Sean McDermott was bitching about it, on Monday. Like he basically gave him a 3-0 start to, to start the game after that Jaquan takeaway. So the mentality is there right now. Justin Simmons wants to be the benefactor of a guy dropping a ball. He's in the right position. So you can't just say, well, we got to keep doing this because, those takeaways, sometimes they come in bunches. Sometimes there's a drought. But the mentality of taking it away, the expectation of taking it away, seems like it's there. And then I think Vance is doing a good job of mixing up his pressures, which can force the ball to come out funny or hot or tipped or whatever else.
Baldy, the Broncos are the 2nd hottest team in the NFL on the 3-game win streak, tied with the Eagles. They're playing the hottest team in the NFL this week with the Vikings. You watch every single team, so you know about Josh Dobbs back with Arizona. Now you know about him with the Vikings, and you know all about the Vikings. What's the Broncos' key to beating the Vikings this week?
Well, even before Josh got traded to Minnesota, like he started 8 games for Arizona. If you watch Arizona, and I know a lot of people don't, but like he had them in, they were in every game. They didn't get blown. They beat Dallas, but they were in every game, even in the 6-game losing streak that they had. But they just couldn't find a way to finish and make plays in the fourth quarter. What you then discover after watching Josh for 10 games is he is a true dual threat quarterback. They call runs for him. He's excellent. Like he's not Lamar, but whatever that next category of dual threat quarterbacks are, like he's right in that category. And then his ability to scramble and to buy time and to extend plays. The throws that he had to Hawkinson last week were outstanding. He's throwing the ball with touch and accuracy and extending plays. Like he's been a handful. It's an amazing story, knowing that you didn't even know the guy's name, Ben Powell or Brandon Powell, you didn't even know the names of these guys. But you have to play that guy with the utmost respect, because if you give him 50 seconds on the clock and the length of the field to go, he's already shown that he can do that.
I love it. I love it.
Definitely. Other thing, going back and looking at that game, is Pat Surtain playing Stephon Diggs. It was, again, just remarkable to see what he was doing. Like, you take the Alex Singleton almost interception, for example. On the backside of that play, Stephon Diggs is trying to run a slant. He can't even get off the line of scrimmage. And it was like that all night. So I'm curious, going into this week with Justin Jefferson, I asked Pat last week if I should be playing Justin Jefferson on my fantasy team, and he said I should not this week. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on that matchup and how you see that going.
Well, I know Patrick, likes that challenge, and he likes to punk guys at the line of scrimmage from time to time. He can play any style of football. Jordan Addison has been Justin Jefferson since Jefferson went out with that hamstring injury. I don't know that I would go that far away. Addison has been unbelievable. Now, Justin Jefferson is a great route runner. He has two plans. He has a plan to get open, and he has a plan after the catch. And, look, Surtain knows that. So, if he catches the ball, you better tackle it because that guy's looking to square you up and beat you. So that's the big thing about Jefferson is you have to tackle the catch. He's going to get catches because he's that good of a route runner. But we got to see what the timing is like with Josh Dobbs. We knew the timing with Kirk Cousins was outstanding. But you never know with a new guy if he's going to stay on you as long, if he sees you the way Kirk Cousins saw you. Like, that remains to be established yet. We don't know. We know that he's got uncanny timing with T.J. Hawkinson. And so does he get off Hawkinson and the success he's having thrown to him to go feed the beast? I don't know how that's going to work out right now.
Man, I love it. I know how this interview worked out. It was great. Baldy, thank you so much for your insight. We absolutely love it, and I just can't wait to check out your Twitter account on Monday to see how this Broncos game breaks down.
Well, if it's win number 4, there's definitely going to be a lot of breakdowns for sure.
I love it. Make sure to check out Baldy's national podcast with us, the All NFL Show. Baldy, thank you so much.
My pleasure, guys. Talk to you next week.